Hey everyone, so I have a ton of really cool stuff to share with you guys in this Shopisode. I've got a bunch of new cool things stabilizing related. I've also got a huge Halloween sale going on my Etsy and my website that I'll briefly mention, and just a ton of cool stuff that I've been up to, so let's get right into the fun stuff. All right, everyone, so excuse the mess over here because I've kind of been moving and rearranging everything. But what I want to share with you is this new vacuum chamber I got. So for those of you who may have remembered from seeing it in the background, or if you've watched my shop tour, actually, I don't think it was in the shop tour, but anyway, I used to have a router table up here. It's now down under there in storage. And so there's been a couple really nice things about this new location being opened up. Obviously, the ability to add in another vacuum chamber, and I'll tell you guys about this in a moment, but also having a dedicated sanding station. And I'm still working on, moving all of this stuff around and making it more organized, but that's going to be really nice to have it hooked up to the dust collector rather than just the shop vac. So that's kind of cool. But this is what I want to share with you guys. So this vacuum chamber, I'll put a link in the description, cost me, I believe it was either $90 or $100, and it's an incredible deal because it comes with a glass lid. So you can find these type of deals, but they're acrylic lids, and most of the acrylic lids won't work with cactus juice unless you have the type of PVC that Curtis Seebeck from Turntex uses. That's why, like, Best Value Vacs, for example, only recommends their glass vacs. And the main advantage of this one that's so awesome is, one, it's 5 gallon, which means it's just huge in general. But if you notice, the inlet is at the top of the glass, whereas on these glass vacs from this company, they're on the inside. So even though this is a 3 gallon container, you can really only put the resin up to like about here. Otherwise, it'll get sucked into the vacuum pump, and that's going to be an issue. With this guy, what they did is they drilled a hole in here, and then you basically use a washer and a nut, like a rubber washer is the one beneath it, and a nut to make a vacuum seal and put it all together. And then you can fill this all the way up. I only have about 2 gallons of resin in here right now, and I could probably go up to, 4.8 or however much, depending on what's going on at the time. Another thing related to having this set up is I changed the piping on my vacuum chamber, or a vacuum pump, I should say, so that all of the vacuum pumps all the vacuum chambers can be hooked up to just this one vacuum pump. So it's pretty simple. I've just got a quick connect here and then multiple outlets going. And what's really nice about that is I kept on running into situations where I was running out of space because I'm stabilizing grapevine all the time for the pen blanks. And then when I wanted to stabilize burl for the blocks or custom orders or whatever, I would always run into problems of space. And then now getting into more of the dyeing with my red and my blue chamber, that was even more of a problem because I'd have to either do just this one or just that. So I rewired it a while ago to be able to run both of these at the same time so I could have grapevine and then some burl going. And this one also was able to be clear. But now I can do all three. So I can do dye if I want. I can have some grapevine in here and some blocks or vice versa between the two. Anyway, the main thing I want to share with you guys was this find. It's a phenomenal find. I'll put the link down in the description. The only issue I've found with it, and it's not even an issue, is that you definitely most of the time have to push down on this and give it some pressure when you're first starting to get the seal, but then it just takes off. So wanted to share that. I think it was probably pretty worth it for some of you guys who may be looking for it. So one of the really big important messages I want to let you guys know about and let you guys know about as soon as possible is the sale that I mentioned at the beginning on my Etsy and my website. It's a 20% off site-wide Halloween sale. And as you guys saw in my last Shopisode, I've got those really cool glow-in-the-dark blanks. And if you want any custom sized blanks or anything like that with glow in the dark or anything, that still applies to the discount. So I want to let you guys know with that, because with Halloween coming up, if you wanted to make any cool things or just, get some blanks or whatever while the prices are low and you're interested, go for it. Go crazy. Just wanted to mention that because while it's up, I figured anybody that would be curious or interested might as well let you guys know. So the other big thing I wanted to share with you guys, it's also related to stabilizing, of course, is I picked up this smoker. So big shout out and thank you to Zach Higgins for those of you that follow his Instagram or just follow what he's been up to. He also got a smoker, and as you guys know, him and I are pretty good friends, and so I was talking to him quite a bit about his experience with it and how it's been going, and he couldn't say good enough things about it. And as I was telling you guys about the space problem I was having with the chambers, I was also having space problems with my toaster ovens. And so I figured I was about to buy another toaster oven, and then I remembered Zach having ventured out and getting one of these. I figured, well, if I'm going to spend $50 on a convection toaster oven, why don't I just spend a little bit more, like 2 or 3 times more, but get 5 to 6 times the amount of space? So this thing is on right now. It's been on for the last like 6 or 7 hours, and the knife scales in there are done curing, so I'll turn it off. What's really cool is it's a 30-inch master built. I'll put the link down below. I think it's pretty similar to the one Zach got, but it's just a 30-inch master built I got off of Amazon. But it fit perfectly under here, but I ran into the problem of the door not being able to open. And so I just cut this little notch with my jigsaw, and now it's perfect because it has this great remote that works perfectly as long as you're close to it, I'm sure. And I can set the temperature, I can set the time. I had it set to 24 hours originally, so it's been going for 9. And then, you can turn on a light if you want to see inside. It's obviously kind of steamy right now, but it's phenomenal. So I'm going to turn this off right now, and then I'm going to open it up and show you guys how spacious it is. It's got this little latch to keep it airtight. It opens perfectly with that little notch, and then you guys can see how much room is in here. It comes with 4 different racks. That's what's over on the side in the directions, and then I can rearrange them how I want. The only thing that I ordered online is this drip pan. Actually was an extra one for my toaster oven, and I ordered a couple more of them that are the same size but a little deeper, so that I can have one on every rack if I wanted to add the other racks as well. So this thing is awesome. I mean, I can't say good enough things about it. It's really, really great if you're trying to look into getting an oven. I've only had this for a couple days at this point. Zach has had his for longer, and he's primarily been drying wood with his, because this will go down to 100 degrees Fahrenheit if you just want to, dry some like really green wood, or you can just set it to 230 if the wood's already equalized and all of that. So I've just been stabilizing some pretty nice looking maple burl scales. I've really been trying to up my game in the quality department of like thickness and having a nice cut and all of that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, because I have a not fun, but funny, but also unfortunate recent experience selling those that I'll tell you guys about. But anyway, I'll put the link down below for that, and hope you guys found some value in hearing about that, because I think this thing is sweet. So speaking of the knife scales, I'll flip it around in a little bit, but I just want to show you guys some of these really nice maple burl scales I've been making, and I've been really focusing after this bad experience I had of making them a lot better in terms of being square and smooth and sanded and all that. So I'll flip it around and tell you guys the little experience I had, because I kind of wanted to share it and just acknowledge it. So I don't want to talk too much on this little thing because it wasn't that big of a deal, but I just wanted to mention it because I accidentally brought it up. I had this really bad experience with this customer who bought knife scales from me and was really, really unhappy about them not being sanded and the it being trimmed and just perfectly square like the ones I just showed you are. And so I sent him some replacements, and they were square and nice and all of that, but they weren't One had a chip in it from either being dropped while being shipped, or I could have very easily missed it myself. That definitely could have happened. But I just want to bring that up because if any of you guys are knife makers, or even people who buy pen blanks from me, it really rubbed me the wrong way because I always try my best to make people super happy with the product. And if they're not happy, I'm always willing to send a replacement and make it better, because as you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I'm clearly not in this to make a quick buck. I'm clearly in this to have other makers make really cool products and be around for a long time. And the best way to do that is to make good products that people like and, you know, are willing to tell people about, that they're happy. And so anyway, like I said, I don't want to talk about it for too long, but with that said, I just wanted to get, you know, that kind of off my chest, that if anybody is ever getting stuff from me and they're not happy about it, know that it's always within my, you know, original purpose to make good stuff. So anyway, enough about that. I've already talked about it too much, but I wanted to share that since I accidentally mentioned it when I was showing you guys the knife scales in the oven. So another cool update that I'm really happy about is for those of you who have seen my shredded money and gold leaf videos, you guys know, or I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, if not, it might have been obvious, that it was really hard for me to figure out the best way to get the gold leaf kind of dispersed in the middle of the blank and also on the outside, just kind of, you know, a good ratio throughout the blank. And I finally figured out the best way to do it. So any of you guys who have seen me using these cut up gold leaf flakes lately in videos and blocks, that's what I've been using. And what's nice about them is they're the same density as the resin, so they don't sink and they don't float. They just stay where you put them. And so I've been able to layer pretty effectively, where I put a little bit of the money down and then some leaf and then some money and then some more leaf. And sometimes I'll be left with like still a lot on one side or not, but I definitely get some in the middle too, which I'm really happy about. So I'm gonna probably take some more recent product photos with these, probably, you know, put some spray lacquer on these or something. But if anybody saw that video and was thinking, oh, that's a really cool idea, but those look kind of, you know, I wish there was more gold leaf, I got it. So thought that was kind of worth sharing. So this definitely isn't the most pretty way to show you guys these blocks, but I finally finished the huge custom order that I got from a gentleman, and I'm really happy with being done with this because this was by far the biggest custom order, but also the biggest blanks I had made. I'm sure I've mentioned it, but these are 10 inches long by 3 inches square. So like each one of these, for example, uses about like 40 ounces of resin. Like that's a lot of resin, you know, that's like a little upwards of 3 pounds of resin. And I got done with all of the ones that are grapevine, which are over there. There's 15 of that size and then 7 of the medium, which are 7 inches long, 3 inches square. But he also, I got done with those and he was like, oh, I want some more of these kinds. And so I made him some ones out of shredded money, which are really cool. And then also some burl ones, which unfortunately I'm not cleaning up to keep the dimensions as he wants. But on the ones that are gold leaf, you can definitely see, or just leaf in general, you can see some of the wood. And these are just gonna be beautiful in my opinion. This one's gonna be really cool with the burl on each side. And this one is just all interference green. I think this is gonna look awesome in the sunlight. And that one's just interference blue. And then he also wanted some pine cone ones, the larger size pine cone ones, and then 2 of the metal ones are still in the pressure pot curing right now, but they're done. And these are gonna be cool. The pine cone ones are super hard to show until you cut into them and stuff, but I think the white and the black are gonna look really cool, as well as the red, and then the gray. The colors that are in there are also black and white. But just wanted to share this with you guys because I was pretty proud of them. And it's pretty fun seeing, at least for me, this many blocks all together, especially that they're going to one person. So just throwing it out there if anybody wants any bigger size blocks for doing orbs or spheres or anything like that, let me know. I can definitely do it. So, pretty cool thing that I forgot to mention, but about a few weeks ago or a month, I got some stickers. So if anybody is interested in any of these stickers, let me know, and I can send you some. They've been going out with any order for like a month or so whenever I got them. But I'm really happy with how they came out. I got them from a company called Sticker Mule, and I'm pretty impressed. Even the super small letters are still pretty clear. And yeah, so if you want any to spice up your pressure pots or whatever, let me know. The last thing I wanted to mention before we wrap it up is to go check out the podcast, the Resin Cast, if you guys haven't already. I mentioned it briefly before a couple times, but it's been up going for a while now. Zach Higgins and I, a lot of you people who probably watch me, of course, know of Zach. Him and I have been doing this podcast for several months now, and we have about 7 episodes. I think we're about to upload our 6th episode, but we have about 8 or 9 done actually. So a lot of really cool stuff talking about everything resin casting and also stabilizing, basically anything related to resin casting. And it's actually a ton of fun. I mean, I really have a blast with it. I know Zach does, and we've only heard, fortunately, nothing but good reviews so far. So check that out if you guys want. That will be in the description below. Great thing to listen to if you're in the shop or driving to work or anything like that to kill time. So with that being said, that's about it for this Shopisode. I hope you guys enjoyed everything so far. Definitely leave some comments down below on what you thought, and also some suggestions for future videos. I've got some few ideas in mind, but I always love to hear the new suggestions and the new ideas, especially with Christmas coming up soon. I want to make some really cool Christmas themed videos and products and projects and all that stuff. So enough rambling out of me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.